Sandosham. This is an extract from Parajothi Mahan's I God book. Dawn of Wisdom. God becomes man. The man by his super knowledge realizes himself as God, enlightened ones. Man is also one of the species like other living things in the world. But human life can be divided into three categories before it comes to close. 1. Those who are unable to express their joys or sorrows, reduce them and onto them, or think about them. 2. Those who are liable to think but yet unable to bring them into practice before the close of their life. 3. Those who with intense effort think about them, bring them into practice so that others are benefited by them and end in success. Among those who belong to the third category and who have tried to bring them into practice, only 1 in a lakh gets success. The ripe experiences of such successful thinkers form the basis for the men of today in their several walks of life, viz. Agriculture, architecture, politics, medicine, science, philosophy, etc. When men entertain such good thoughts, then dawns wisdom in them. Hence I have proclaimed, ye who think for the well-being of others, your thoughts are the dawn of wisdom. Among such inventors and pioneers whose efforts and discoveries are brought into practice after deep thought, such of those whose efforts survive for long continuing to give equal and everlasting benefit to people without any distinction are worshipped and glorified by people of today and tomorrow as great kings, poets, prophets, philosophers and jnanis, great seers. As the sun rises when the morning star dawns, so too wisdom dawns when good thoughts are entertained. Without sufficient cause, wisdom will not dawn to all people. For example, at 11 a.m. on 11/11/1911, in the country in which I was born, celebrations regarding the coronation of one of the kings were conducted in pomp and glory. I asked one of the persons the reason for such celebration. He replied that as the king was being enthroned, such celebrations were necessary. I asked at once as to who was greater than king. He said God. I again asked whether I could see God. He said laughing that I could see. At that moment itself, I entertained the idea that I should see God. I tried to think. I was a lad of 8.5 years then. With intense faith, I began to chant and worship. Ideas to help this began to pour in plenty. What guarantee is there that I will wake up after sleep? Several thoughts like this began to haunt me. Standing in one of the corners of Sulai Pagoda Road in Rangoon, I used to observe deeply the persons and vehicles passing along and think, where are they coming from? Where do they go? Where did we come from? Where should we go? It is not known where from we came. With such thoughts making my heart heavy, my head giddy, and drenching me with tears, I used to go away from that place. Likewise, while in Rangoon, standing at a little distance from the toddy shops, I used to observe deeply twice or thrice in a month the people who frequented toddy shops and their friendly conversation without any distinction of caste or creed. If questions concerning this were put to religious teachers, they would say that they were big questions. Some would say that such questions should not be asked at such an age. Awareing things myself, I decided not to ask questions concerning this to anybody and continued to think about them myself with japa and tapa. Sandosham.